Thanks to the supporters of channel member Aiden C97. No, that's fair enough. I get it. The league campaign is not going the way we planned, but you know, we've got the Spanish Cup today and we had fun in that last year. So if we can have another cup run, money, you like money, plus, you know, it'll hopefully give us some confidence to take over into the second half of the league campaign, which I acknowledge we need to do better in the second half of the season. Yeah, I do remember how much money you gave us, yeah. Hello and welcome to part 42 of Holme. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we play Real San Sebastian's B team in the league and Mallorca of La Liga in the Spanish Cup. Since you were last with me, our form has continued to be pretty ropey. It looked like we were recovering off the back of the last episode. We had a couple of wins, but then very quickly lost 3 in a row, one of which against an Ibiza team who was second in the league at the time, and we deservedly lost against a better team. But I think because our oldest player is 22, and I think as soon as we have a game that doesn't go our way, it knocks the stuffing out of us for a little while. I think we're suffering from a lack of leadership and a lack of experience, because it happened against Murcia. We started so well. We were top of the league, lost against Murcia, knocked the stuffing out of us for 5 games, dragged our way back with a victory against a Valencia B team that were down to 10 men, looked good, get the stuffing knocked out of us again, and then struggle again. We have just played a first round of the Cup against our Mar Menor team of way deep down in the deepest, darkest non-league, and we struggled to beat them, but we have picked up a win. So dynamics-wise, everything is looking very good. So fingers crossed we carry that very good form into this league game at the very least. But of course, then we play against La Liga opposition, which is probably going to knock the stuffing out of us again. And the league is starting to look a little bit desperate for us. We'd been hoping to be in the automatic promotion hunt this year. We're about halfway through the season, and it's fair to say we are not getting promoted automatically. We are much worse off than we were this time last year. And the playoffs are starting to look a little bit of a stretch. This game against San Sebastian is crucial because they're the team we're chasing and they're 4 points ahead of us. So this is a very early must-win game of the season. And this is the team we're putting out there to win this game, what we must win. Serrano in goal, a back four of Zafra, Joffrey, Galdino and Carrington. Boxall at the base of the midfield. Koulibaly and Rabiot ahead of him. Martinez Perez on the left. Sandoval on the right. Luis up front. Luis has got 11 goals now and Pascual has got 12. We have 2 very free scoring strikers, but can't figure out a way to get them both in the team at the same time, which is, I think that's part of the problem. I wonder if we maybe need to sacrifice these wonderful wingers that we've got and go to the diamond, because we've tried the 4-2-4 and it didn't work at all. I don't think we've got the midfield oomph to be able to do a 4-2-4. We can't really use Rabiot in a midfield too. I don't want to waste him out on the wing where he was when he started his career. So maybe the diamond gets the best out of the 2 strikers and Rabiot. We have to look at who our best players are, and our best players are probably the 2 strikers, Rabiot and Boxall. And I think Boxall and Rabiot are at their best in the arrangement they're in now. Rabiot as a Mazzala, Boxall at the base of the midfield. But the 2 strikers are much better off together than separately. So the only way to get those players in those combinations is a diamond, but that then means sacrificing Sandoval and Martinez Perez, who are 2 of the highest paid players at the club. They're on about $3,500 a week between them. So it's a bit of a drastic decision to take, especially when we then don't have a reserve striker for if anything happens to Luis or Pascual. So yeah, it's a pickle, but we're 1-0 up, and that's the important thing. Who cares about pickle when we're doing football goals? And this is good work from Koulibaly. It's a lovely ball over the top from him. He is definitely blossoming as part of this midfield as well in this deep line playmaker role. He continues to get better and better. That's a lovely ball over the top from him. So the midfield 3, I think, is working really well. I actually really like this team in this system. I think I look at the fact we've got 2 strikers who are both in double figures already, and I'd love a way to get them both in at the same time. But I actually think the team plays better when we only use one of them, and it doesn't necessarily matter which one we use. And I guess it is a fortuitous position to be in that we just play the one that's in form at the moment. Luis is in form. He's got 2 goals early on in this game. We've got Pascual on the bench ready to come on if we need him. I guess that's probably the dream scenario. And I should stop trying to force them into a system that we don't need to play, because everyone on the pitch, this system suits perfectly. The only player this doesn't suit is Pascual, because he's not on the pitch. If he came on for Luis is the only one who doesn't fit beautifully into this system. But our defenders are built for this formation, our midfielders, our wingers, everyone else is built to play this way. So I'd be struggling less if one of our strikers wasn't any good. Last season, when we had little Kev struggling as our backup striker, we didn't have any of these concerns, and we were a better team last year, even though we've got better players now. So maybe I just need to stop fiddling, accept this is our best system. We're absolutely tearing apart a team who are better than us. They're ahead of us in the league. We're chasing them for that playoff spot, and we're ruining them. So when I just leave well alone and let what we've built do what it does, we look like a very good side. So maybe this is one of those situations that we seem to come to this stage in every save I ever do. Maybe I just need to sit on my hands for the rest of the season and let the players do what the players were signed to do, and trust past Kev's squad building and not try and second guess it. I think I'm trying to look too clever. I'm trying to outthink myself and trying to do some clever Pep Guardiola tactical shenanigans to try and accommodate players that don't need to be in the team at the same time. We don't need to play both of the strikers. We've scored 4 goals with only one of them on the pitch. The fact that the other one might have scored a few goals if he'd have been on as well doesn't matter. Winning 6-0 is no better than winning 4-0. It doesn't matter. This is what's going on. I'm struggling at the moment because I'm getting my head tied up in knots. But bottom line, we've played very, very well today, and the league table looks an awful lot better right now than it did at the start of this match. I mean, Cartagena in first place have got 2 games in hand on us as it currently stands, so we're not going to get too ahead of ourselves thinking we're back in an automatic promotion push. I genuinely think that ship has sailed for this year, but we can definitely get ourselves back into the playoff mix, and if we can get ourselves into some good form and stop having our heads drop when we get a defeat, we can win the playoffs, because we got in them last year and narrowly lost. And this year, we're a better team than we were last year. So we should be able to go and we need to go 2 better. 1 better is not going to get the job done. But I think we can win the playoffs this year. I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But we'd just like to see this game out now, please and thank you. We've got Hurtado on as a centre-back playing in front of the back 4 for a bit of protection. Jaregi in midfield is also a centre-back who's playing in midfield. We've even got Ivan Mutt on the pitch, who's barely kicked a football this season, but he's just on there just to, provide his energy, be a little bit of an outlet, and let this game be seen out. And that's exactly what we've done. That is a very, very good result. Hopefully, with 2 league wins in a row, back to some kind of form in the league. The problem, like I said before, is that we now go and get battered by Mallorca, and it knocks the stuffing out of us again, and we're going to lose another 3 games on the bounce. But fingers crossed, that's not going to happen. We're also about to pass the 1st of January. Who's out of contract? Oh my goodness. Most of the squad are out of contract. Everyone highlighted there is out of contract at the end of the season, so could go and sign pre-contracts elsewhere now. There are some big names in there that we don't want to be walking out. Sandoval, Luis, Pascual, Koulibaly. Yeah, there's a lot of players we don't want. We are going to have to make some tough decisions because we're over our wage budget, as is our default, which means we can't offer anyone a new contract until we've set some of them for release. So we're going to have to decide who we're letting go so that we can offer some contract renewals to the players that we're keeping. Oh, that's tricky. Well, I've just had a very, what's the opposite of productive? Unproductive time trying to renew some contracts with our players. The only one we've really been able to get tied down is Rob Harley. Actually, that's not true. Pascual has signed a contract extension as well on quite a big pay rise. So we've got a lot of players out of contract. We are going to be working on them. But for now, our focus is on Mallorca in the Copa del Rey, and we'll worry about the contracts that are up for renewal in the next episode. For now, we're going into this match with what I think is an unchanged team from the last match. We have played a friendly in between. So there's every chance there's a slight change. But this is very much what I would consider my first choice team to be. Obviously, the strikers are interchangeable, but the other 10 are pretty much nailed on in their positions. If they're fit, they're the boys that play. So they are the boys that are going to take on Mallorca. And there is a name from our Man City save, Yan Couto. The only name in their entire squad that I recognise. But he was, if you haven't watched the Man City save, you should go and watch the Man City save. We had to sell him quite early on because we had no money, because it was a Man City save with a little bit of a difference. I urge you to go and watch it. But let's go beat this lot. We're a team that are looking for promotion to the second tier. Mallorca are a team who are struggling in the top tier. So there's a world where we play each other in the league next year. This shouldn't be us getting absolutely embarrassed. And Ivan Luis is in a real run of form at the moment. He does this. He had a little purple patch around about this time last year. He clearly likes the slightly cooler temperatures in the winter. But this is when he basically killed almost gave him his full name there. Almost killed Little Kev, completely killed Little Kev's home career by just proving that he was a better goal scorer. And then once we made the decision that we were going with him, he stopped scoring. We've obviously got Gorka as an alternative to him this year if he drops out of this form again. But when Ivan Luis is playing the way he's playing at the moment, he is pretty unplayable for a striker at this level and does score his goals in big bursts like we've seen him do in these recent matches. So while he's playing well, we are just going to sit back and let him do his thing. And as soon as he drops out of form, Gorka comes back in. Problem solved. Of course, Ivan Luis not yet under contract for next year and wants an extraordinary amount of money to stay. So this might be the last winter that we enjoy him scoring a load of goals while the temperatures are a little bit cooler, because he's probably going to be playing for a better team than us this time next year. And that is a very frustrating little dance in front of our fans. There's got to be a booking. That end is our fans. He scores the equaliser as a man from 2 leagues higher up and does a little jig. Referee, if you're not booking him for that, I don't know what inciting the crowd is. My word. 1-1 then as we approach half-time, and it is Mallorca with another corner. And Yan Couto, never pick out an opposition player before the match, boys and girls. We've talked about it a gazillion times. We've picked out Yan Couto. He's got an assist, and then they've won a penalty off the back of the corner that he took. And as a result, we find ourselves 2-1 down, and it's all thanks to Yan Couto, because we picked him out before the match like silly gooses. 2-1 down. I mean, obviously, there's no shame in losing to Mallorca. They're 2 leagues higher up than us. There's just the concern that we take it to heart and end up in bad form again. But there's Rabiu bullying Couto. I actually thought that was going to come up as a Couto own goal, but it's 2-2. It's a lovely cross coming in from Sandoval, who I think it was Ivan who nodded it back across, hits the crossbar, and Rabiu just using all of his physicality and bulk to bundle the ball over the line. It's gone down as an own goal. I'm obviously crediting that to Rabiu, and it's 2-2, and we are right back in it. What the flipping heck was that? From kickoff as well. What on earth have I just seen? Can we have a look at this from the other angle, please? Thank you. It's the same angle. That's not as useful, but I mean, well, I don't. What's our goalkeeper doing there? Alex Boxall with another equaliser for us. He does that every now and again. We have an attacking throw and he just sneaks forward from DM and nods it in at the far post, and no one tracks him when he does it. And it's 3-3. We've scored 3 goals against La Liga opposition, which is very good. If we could just learn to defend, we would be good enough at least to be mid-table in the league above, even with the squad of players that we've got now. We're definitely moving in the right direction, but I think I actually am starting to think we might need 2 new centre-backs. As much as I love Joffrey and Ivan because they've been together for a long time, they're both homegrown boys that have been with us since they were 17, 18 years old and have developed a good partnership over the years. I think they're probably not quite good enough for this level and certainly not good enough for the next level up. And I think if we are serious about progressing, we probably need some grown-up centre-backs. some centre-backs that are actually made for this level. Right, we're just making a couple of changes in a couple of key areas, most notably moving Martinez Perez onto the right-hand side, just making sure he did switch to be an inverted winger. Rob Harley, who is another one who has renewed his contract, comes on. He is someone who is on the cusp of being a starter for this team and does weigh in every now and again with an important goal. Martinez Perez plays it across to Rabiot. Rabiot trying to find Luis and can't find him. I think logically the final change is to bring Gorka on to try and bully their defenders for the last few minutes. In fact, now is the time to make that change. Ivan Luis off, Gorka is on. That's the final. We're only allowed 3 substitutions in this tournament, so that is our final change. But I think when you've got 2 strikers who are as good as each other, they both have to play. So Pascal comes on, we go attacking, we offer some encouragement, and we hope we've got one more equaliser in us. It's Zafra with the free kick, drills it across. It's a very strange free kick, and I think it was Joffrey's header that ends up skimming over the crossbar, but not necessarily the kind of... I'd be looking to float that in with Gorka in the middle, but in the end, I mean, it's kind of wasted. I mean, on another day, Joffrey's header loops up into the goal. It just kind of hit him quite fast. I don't think he had much control over the direction the ball went off in. But now Mallorca doing their fancy little turns, keeping hold of the ball at the back. This is dangerous because they're not a particularly good side, certainly for La Liga standards. They are a team that have got some significant weaknesses. They are definitely beatable. And if they knock the ball around too much, Gorka's having it off them. Or Rabiot's already shown once today that he'll just bully the ball over the line if need be and take the ball off. And we've now got a couple of bullies trying to do lots of pressing up top there for us. But unfortunately, they're passing it around us. That's got to be offside. Unless our defensive line is a zigzag again. But both our centre-backs were well ahead of both the attackers. It must be Carrington at right-back playing everybody on. I mean, look at how much further back Carrington is than the centre-backs. Oh, well. It's especially painful when you look at the XG. A lot of blame has to go on our goalkeeper for today, I think. And I just hope that we don't take it too hard and that we can come back against Levante. Levante are rubbish. We play them next. They're not very good. They are rock bottom of the league. They're 12 points from safety at the halfway point. They're guaranteed to go back down. That's got to be a team we bounce back against. And hopefully, by the time we come back tomorrow, we'll be down here somewhere in February. All of the key players will have signed contract extensions and we'll at least be in the top 5 for the playoffs. That's the dream from here. So fingers crossed, boys and girls. But if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.